Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rangers Review pre-match briefing. It is Aberdeen against Rangers, a game that is largely inconsequential in the context of Rangers season, but we are there anyway. Chris Jack's looking forward to it, and we have perhaps the most confusing Rangers team all season to talk through. So let's get to that, and then we'll get to Chris at Pittodrie. Rangers lineup, we'll give you the 11 names and then we'll maybe try and work out where they're going to play on the pitch after that. But it's Liam Kelly in goals. Rafael Fernandez, Robin Proper and Clinton Inciala, we think, will be that back three. But as Chris has just pointed out to me, it could also be a back four with Ross McCausland at right back. McCausland, Bairami, Barron, Cortez and Curtis are the midfielders on the team sheet. We'll see what shape it takes and what form it takes in about an hour's time, and Hamza Igaman and Danilo as well make up the starting 11. Chris, a lot of people, including our colleague Derek Clark, were calling for Barry Ferguson to just play anyone apart from those who will play in Bilbao. And I think this is very much a formation that is dictated by the 11 fit players who are not going to start over in Spain. Is that fair?
I think that is fair. Slightly disappointed I didn't get a shout for the bench, to be honest with you. I thought I might have been given a late call-up, but it is just a case of Rangers getting through this game. As you said at the top of the show, it means little or almost nothing in Premiership terms. Everything is all on Thursday night, so not a surprise to see Barrie make a number of changes. If I was to be picky, I'd be disappointed that Hamza Igaman is starting. I think that probably shows that he's not going to start on Thursday. For me, he would be in ahead of Cyril Dessers on Thursday, so that might be the only key grumble from me. But the rest of it, you can't really complain. You can't really argue with. It's also a very strong bench if Rangers do need it, but hopefully it won't get to that stage. And the ones that start here can get through it, and Rangers can forget all about it and move on.
Yeah, the bench, Chris reads Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Dessers, Diomande, Chefty, Hadji, Hutton and McCallion too. I guess the obvious place to start is the shape. I'll get to a few comments right away. James is surprised by the lineup. George is happy. He says, I'm glad Barry's picked a team to ensure we give Thursday our best shot. Another comment here, 100% agree with rotation. Barron is the only real central midfielder is concerning for me, whereas Craig says swap Curtis and Cortez, I reckon. This point here, this is why I think it might be a back three, Chris, because I think if it is a 4-4-2 hypothetically and you've got McCausland at right back, we have seen him play there at different points. I struggle to think that Ferguson goes with Bairami and Barron as two holding midfielders, and it's more likely, I think, that in possession Rangers stay with that back five shape. And then, while Barron's the only central midfielder, he has three centre halves behind him. Robin Proper maybe in the middle of a back three, has to cover less ground. His physicality is a little bit less exposed, as we saw on Thursday night. But then I guess the question is who plays left wing back, because this is Finlay Curtis's first start, I think, for Rangers. And if it is in an unfamiliar spot, then not maybe the ideal situation for him to go out and show what he can do, but a start nonetheless for him.
I think it's a merited start. Barry said after the game, Thursday night game maybe, and there's not many of them of late though. After the defeat at Ibrox, he said he's not afraid to play the kids. He was asked about that, but making changes for these final league games, and he said that he wasn't afraid to put some of the younger players in. I think he showed that by starting Bailey Rice on Thursday night, and he's shown it again by putting Finlay Curtis in for this one. I think he's shown up fairly well in the minutes that he has had. If he is playing high and wide on that left-hand side, that gives him a chance to go and show what he can do. If he's having to play somewhere of a left wing-back role, that's a bit of an unfamiliar role, obviously, for him. It's not ideal, so I think it could almost be a 4-4-2. Say Inciala goes to left-back, McCausland goes right-back, Cortez and Curtis either side, Bairami and Barron as a two, and then Danilo and Igaman as a two, or Danilo perhaps dropping in slightly deeper. Now we have seen that work relatively well, I think, when that partnership has been there. So it's time will tell when they come out. The goalkeepers are just out going through their warm up just now. The rest of the team has not emerged as yet onto Pittodrie, but once the game starts, we'll see what kind of shape they're in. And it's certainly given us a talking point, if nothing else.
It has, yeah. It could be a number of things. Multiple man saying it could be a 4-3-3. Yeah, intrigued to see how it does materialise. Is this the most attackers Rangers have started all season? Realistically, I can't think of a more, quote unquote. I know it's not dictated by anything other than Thursday night, Chris, and the game that is coming up. But there must be a case this is the most attackers Rangers have had in the team in about 4 years or something like that, isn't it? Realistically, because you've got three defenders, one midfielder, and then just six guys who want to attack. So it actually might be quite refreshing to watch. You feel like it could go one of two ways. It could be quite refreshing, or it could be an absolute disaster. I don't know if that's too extreme, but nonetheless, we shall move on. Right, let's talk about players who are getting an opportunity, because Rangers still are under pressure to win today. If they don't, then Celtic will win the league. I'm sure that will be motivation enough for Barrie Ferguson that he will try to relay to his players. Headkeeper here saying, good to see what Fernandes and Cortez will bring to the party. Yeah, Oscar Cortez's season, we know what it has been. You have to go back a long way now to remember the bright, exciting sparks that he showed in his first few games as a Rangers player. And Rafael Fernandes, Chris, who we've discussed it at length at points, he very much epitomises just the changes that have happened at Rangers. A few months ago, we thought we were going to see more of Curtis and Fernandes and the likes before now in the end of the season. He's kind of fallen victim, I would say, to the situation at centre-half, and that Rangers have gone from starting to maybe play more young players at the start of the year to not really deploying that strategy. But this is only his second start, and it's a difficult venue to go and make it's a real welcome to Scottish football moment for Rafael Fernandes today, isn't it?
We've not seen a lot of him, and he's basically got the minutes that he earns between this afternoon and whatever he gets over the 5 post-split fixtures. That's the game that's going to decide his Rangers career and whether he's going to be here next season or not. You have to say on how the first 4 months or so of his career have gone. There's not like a clamour from supporters for him to be part of the squad next season. Obviously, under a new sporting director, new manager, there will be another refresh of this squad. So there's definitely a real pressure on him to come in and try and show what he can do. There's a number of these guys that are playing for the futures. I think Barrie mentioned that a few weeks ago, that a lot of these players are playing for their places. Out of that 11, how many of them are potential starting players next season? Hamza Agaman is probably the only one. So there's a lot of these guys really need a performance. I think Cortez is a big one. It's not been a good season at all. Injuries have also played a huge part in it. Even when he has been fit, I don't think we've seen enough. So again, probably a difficult afternoon for him to come into. But if you want to make it at Rangers, you have to thrive in this type of afternoon.
Yeah, a good friend of the show, Adamski, says refreshing or a total disaster sounds very Rangers. Can't really disagree with that in terms of this season or many others. Chris, aside from that, Hamza Igaman, myself, Johnny and Derek recorded an extra podcast yesterday. It was the day before, went out yesterday, basically saying it would be nice to see Hamza Igaman play as a number 9, which we've not seen much at all in the Barrie Ferguson. Now, that might be the case today. I think he's played his best football alongside Danilo, because, not to relay an old argument, but he doesn't have to connect the play. He can be the one who sits higher. He's maybe getting involved a little bit less, more touches in the opposition box though as a consequence. Does this mean he doesn't start over in Spain? Is it as cut and dry as that? Because again, we spoke about this on yesterday's podcast. He had more successful passes and carries than Dessers in 10 minutes compared to Dessers' 85 minutes in the park. Now, I know it's not as simple as that. Dessers can be very effective in Europe. I just think Rangers might need a bit of a hold-up option over there. Do you think this means that it will definitely be Cyril Dessers who plays from the start over in Bilbao?
Looking at the rest of the side, you would imagine so. It would seem strange to rest everyone apart from Liam Kelly and then decide that Igaman has to start this afternoon and then go and start on Thursday. Now, he's fit enough. He's young enough. Playing Sunday and Thursday should not be a big issue for him. It's maybe a risk that Barrie feels is worth taking just to get him some more game time. Obviously, he only had 10 minutes or so on Thursday night. I thought the clip that's been doing around the social media, that 4 or 5 players trying to get the ball off him in the corner flag, that shows what he can bring to the side. There will be spells on Thursday night where Rangers just need that hold-up option, need someone to take the ball in tight spaces, to hold on to it, to allow them to get a wee bit of a breather. allowing them a wee bit of territory, and he does that better than Cyril Dessers. Now, the flip side, obviously, Dessers has had a number of impressive European performances. Just to get his goal at Old Trafford, he's played well in Europa League as a whole. So I think there will be a clamour from people for Igaman to start. I think Dessers will probably start, but Igaman certainly has a part to play on Thursday night.
Yeah, and a first start as well for Danilo, I think, under Barry Ferguson. So a couple of comments to finish. One saying a lot of these players have something to prove, so that could be a positive thing. Hopefully lots of fresh energy. And May's saying these changes are understandable given what is at stake on Thursday. Yeah, absolutely. We'll leave it there. Just a quick moment to remind you this video is brought to you by our sponsors at S1 Jobs. If you're looking to hand in your own transfer request at work, then hand over to s1jobs.com. They have thousands of jobs right across the Central Belt. All the links are in the description. Please do hit subscribe on YouTube if you've not done so already. We will, of course, be live after the match and right through it next week as we head over to Bilbao for the big game. Until then, we will be all over this game against Aberdeen. Rangers against Aberdeen in the Scottish Premiership. Join us live later on. Until then, enjoy it wherever you're watching it. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.